Hi, I'm Tara Walrod, and here are some of my portfolio highlights. First and foremost, I just want to thank my principal, Charity Ziegler. She was extremely helpful in this whole experience for me. She was the one who got me involved in this program from the very beginning, and she made sure I was involved in not only administrative experiences in our elementary school, but in the secondary level in the district as well. I've been a leader in our school and district for a really long time, but as a counselor, and she really helped me look through the lens of an administrator. And when I think about examples of that, like flight team, crisis team, I've served on our building and district crisis teams for a long time, but as a counselor, not as an administrator. So she helped me gain opportunity to get to do that. And then she also made me the lead for our problem solving team, which again was an administrative role that really helped me look through a different lens when it comes to sitting in those meetings. So first and foremost, I'd like to talk about vision and goals and some of my most important experiences that fit under that. At the elementary level, I was really involved in splitting our leadership team. We meet once a month for an hour, and what we were finding was that that's just not very much time to spend on the nuts and bolts of a meeting and then also be able to really spend time with your vision and goals. So we worked through a process of splitting our leadership team into two teams by the end of last year and then throughout this year. And I got to be involved in what that looks like. And that was a really cool experience to see that the importance of having two teams for the people that really love the details and for the people who are really big picture. I also was involved in putting together a Thursday compacted schedule, which involved putting all of our activities on Thursday. So our student advisory, musicals, assemblies, anything special, parties, things like that, all go to Thursdays. So involving what would that look like so teachers can still get their designated plan times, but also that we have opportunity for those experiences where we don't disrupt learning any other day except for Thursdays. So again, an experience I got to have in looking at what that would look like that works for teachers, works for staff, works for everybody. Then I also worked with Lakewood Middle School on a flag project. One of their goals was with their changing demographics and high diversity was to put together a flag project. So every family submitted if they had a special flag other than the American flag that they would like to be displayed at the school. And then the leadership team there and the administrators worked to put those flags all the way down the hallway, and then getting to see families come in and take their picture under their flag and be so proud of it and telling us how it made their school really feel like home was such an awesome secondary experience, and to see how important that is to families and meeting the mission and goals of your school. And then district, I went to the Summer Leadership Academy, which was 3 days, and it looked at our district blueprint. So we really spent some time delving into that, which includes being exemplary educators, world academic leaders, a digital district, and our health and well-being. But then what we did was had time as a school vision team to talk about what that looks like for us and our goals and vision for our school under each of those pillars, and to really look at the outcomes that we wanted from that. So that was a really cool experience as well. Teaching and learning. At the elementary level, I gave a climate survey to every single child at the school and then compiled that into a spreadsheet. Highlighted all areas that were under 75%, along with things we need to pay attention to, and then went to every PLC to present that information. Then I worked with the teachers to set goals in their classroom for which area they wanted to grow and help them come up with steps and outcomes to get there. So it was an awesome opportunity for me to be involved in professional learning communities and to look at the data and spend time on data and what that looks like, not only for instruction, but for your classroom climate as well. I also was made lead of our problem-solving team, and again was finding we had some issues with things being put in different places and teachers doing things differently than resource teachers, and really keeping good data in the tier system and making sure that we are meeting the needs of our kids. So I spent some time streamlining that into Google and then training our staff and our problem solving team so that we were all using the same system, making sure that we were recording the different tiers that our kids were in when they went to that tier, so we could really see who's qualifying for special education and what things have been tried, what works, what doesn't work, things like that. I also served as our school testing coordinator, so I was involved in coordinating the CAP test, all the map testing for the building. And then also, I did not list this in there, but I also we were selected as a NAEP school as well, so I'm currently working on coordinating that as well. As far as the district, I became involved with the instructional design coaches. They have a Canvas Innovative PLC, and allowed me to be part of that as an administrator, because only it's for the instructional design coaches and administrators. So I got to be part of that, where they throw out discussion groups, videos, 21st century ideas, and then administrators can comment, instructional design coaches can comment, come up with ideas, things we want to try, stuff like that. It was a great opportunity to see that important relationship between the instructional design coach and an administrator. As far as managing organizational systems and safety in the elementary level, again, as part of the building crisis team, I also reviewed and revised our master schedule. That was important because over the last summer, we had added some sections, and then we had also got rid of our half day altogether. The school district had voted to do that. So with both of those things coming down the pipeline, there were lots of changes that needed made to the master schedule, and was something the principal allowed me to be part of in helping to do that, and really guiding me in understanding not only do you have to think about the master schedule in terms of, specials, but also interventions, recess, lunch, the hallways, making sure that they're not too busy and things don't get piled up or kids don't get piled up, and transitioning, things like that. So again, a great experience. And then I also worked with our bookkeeper throughout the year and what that looks like as far as budgeting. My secondary experience, the assistant superintendent actually contacted me. I had put together a database for the elementaries to really look at almost like a sociogram for the kids of who they are connected with as far as other students, and what adults in the building they are connected with, and really helping with those protective factors. And he wanted me to work with middle school and high school administrators to do the same. So I got to do that experience, put together a QR code to help them take the survey, how to design that survey so it was effective with kids and easy to use. So that was a great experience that I got to have. And I also got to present that to our school board as well. And then as far as for the district, I served on the Human Relations Board, which is a board made up of our superintendent, assistant superintendents, a few administrators, business owners, community member, a councilman, different families, but it really looks at our demographics, and both now and in the future, the past, and how those change and things that we need to be doing as a district and community to meet those needs. And then I also served on the district flight team, which is a great opportunity. I got to go to the 911 training and some different really cool trainings to learn about grief and loss and ways to help schools recover after tragedy. Collaborating with key stakeholders, I worked at the elementary level. I put together a new family night. We had about 50 families attend, and that was exciting to get to work with new families and help them get comfortable in our buildings and put together a scavenger hunt for the kids to be part of. I also brought community speakers in. I did that through my work with the PTO, and I also worked with the teachers on redesigning our parent-teacher conferences. And then I put together a community field trip, which was an opportunity for our kids to leave the building, go into our community, and really get involved in things that are going on right there around us. And it's a great way for the community to know about us. And that actually got us on the nightly news, so that was a really cool experience. And then at the secondary level, I was involved in middle school, spent a year meeting with the school, with school board members, with community members, with parents, teachers, kids, surveying kids, and get to be part of that, really in changing the way the middle school looks in their day, so that core subjects can integrate more, technology can be integrated more, blended learning can be more part of their learning. So getting to be a part of that and changing from having 8 classes a day to 7 classes a day, and then what that looks like for electives, what that looks like for the Bell system, and all the different types of changes. So that was a really big deal for our district. I got to be involved in that at the secondary level with Prairie Star Middle School and how they went about those changes. Ethics and behavior. I spent some time putting together a food allergy professional development for our school. That is something that has been an issue or concern, and that was something that we really want to make sure staff is not only trained in EpiPens, but really understanding background knowledge in that. I also put together a meeting with one of our families who is a Jehovah's Witness. This was important for anyone who works with that family to understand the needs of that child. So I put together a family meeting for that, which was an awesome opportunity. And then I was involved with Panorama. I put this under elementary and district because I went to a district training on it, where I participated in a training to pilot this program. And then I also actually piloted at the elementary level. And it is a national program to measure social emotional learning, but most importantly, you have to get parent permission in order to do it. And it measures student perception in things like grit and growth mindset and things like that. So again, one of those awesome opportunities that I got to pilot and be part of as part of this administrative experience. And then at the secondary level, I mentioned I was on the district flight team. I actually served in an administrative role, and Aubrey Ben went through a student suicide. And as the administrative lead for that building, I actually met not only with the administrators and the teachers of that grade level, but also met with the family who had gone through that. And that was such a huge day and a very different experience than just counseling kids, which is what I'd always done when it came to flight team. So being part of those types of meetings and looking at the big picture and really seeing that family, and how to help them and go about communicating it to the community. And then I went back for a follow-up following this because it's important that we don't just have these crises and then we just walk away. So coming back, meeting with the administrator on how to best help kids and families and the staff recover after such an event. As far as educational systems, elementary, I put together a special fund for disadvantaged students that businesses, community members, and parents could give to in order to help some of our students in need. At the secondary level, I got to be involved with the CAPS program, which was such an awesome experience to work with juniors and seniors and what that program looks like as far as professionalism and teaching about that. And I served in that role in helping them design some student-produced posters on mental health, some t-shirts, and some other graphic designs for social media. And then I also was part of the middle school technology and what social media plays a part and how technology is changing at the middle school level, getting Chromebooks, do they need to have their phones at all, and those types of things. So I went to a middle school opportunity on technology, social media, and kids, and how that things that they should know and be aware of. And then as far as the district, I worked on the district suicide steering committee and then presented to the school board on mental health in general and suicide in general for both K through 12 new programming that we put into place. Overall, transformational leadership was at the forefront of my beginning to end. And the three things that really stood out to me throughout this entire experience was one, collaboration. Nothing is an I, everything is a we, and you always have to have the right people around you. And if you don't, it's getting them on board with what we need to do to support students best. Data, make sure everything is supported by data. And sometimes that can be a slow process, but it shows us that we're doing the right thing at the right time. And then innovation, what can we always be doing more? And sometimes it's a slow process of change to get people on board, but those to me are the three things that really stood out in my experience. And in closing, milestones, getting through my classes, my experiences. I chose not to put classwork in here. I really wanted to experience every single standard. And then my evidence slideshow that I put together for each elementary, middle, and or elementary, secondary, and for district that's in there, along with all of my provided proof of those or evidence that I did those things. And then the praxis, which I took in August and passed. So what's next? Continually update my resume as I continually have these experiences. I got into the Aspiring Principals Academy for the district, which is a really big deal. They only accepted 5 this year, which is a 2-year program of working with a superintendent and assistant superintendents in what a principal looks like, and then hopefully get a job. So thanks so much.